KelTec is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
Showing your nice, cool hat collection.
Yeah. It's been growing ever since I went to SHOT Show.
How many hats did you get at SHOT Show?
3, I think.
Just
got
3?
a KelTec, a Star, and a 511. Yeah.
You gotta miss the first, didn't you?
No. Oh, yeah. I think I did.
The tan trucker,
Yep.
muddy trucker hat?
Yeah, 4.
What you did?
I lose count after I get to the hat, you know?
It is hard to keep up from time to time.
Yep.
All right, Leadheads, welcome back to another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. I'm your host, Lefty, and joining me today as my co-host, we got my cameraman from the SHOT Show, Evan Floodman, Flood Munitions, Leadheads. Welcome in, Evan.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back to the show, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, I'm stoked to be here again, man.
I'm just glad you made it home okay. You had a bad luck, a bad run of luck there.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you weren't gambling.
Down. Central Utah, but you know what? Made it just in time. Missed range day. That was unfortunate, but I'm glad I was able to make it for the show.
I know. I hated that you missed the range day because that's the one part of SHOT Show that I really wanted you to experience.
Yeah, me too. But the crappy weather kind of made me feel a little bit better. Sounded like it wasn't the best of.
It wasn't ideal. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're testing out guns and capabilities, it's probably pretty good for that. But most people aren't out there to do that. They're just out there to shoot free ammo. A lot of the people are.
That's what I was there for.
That's what you were there for. So, for you guys that are listening, Evan is a listener, Leadhead, and he's been on a couple episodes. And we had him on not too long ago, where he was a contestant on History Channel's The Ultimate Marksman. And needless to say, he didn't win that.
No. Yeah, you didn't need to say that, all right?
Damn it, Evan, I had to. Make you try harder when they do the All-Star episode or whatever. Maybe they'll bring you back.
Yeah, they need to bring me back as the underdog.
That's right. So I lost my concentration there. Seems like we got a crasher to the show.
Yep.
Billdo Teabaggins will probably be joining us here. So where was I?
We were just talking about range day, and you mentioned how I lost on Ultimate Marksman.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So I had to rub that in, give you a little motivation for the next time. You know.
For sure. Yeah. No, I'm motivated. That's for sure.
Hopefully. Have you been in touch with those people since the show? Are they giving any kind of indication of maybe having you back?
I haven't heard anything. I'm going to start blowing up their emails, though.
Yeah, you should. You definitely
I'm coming back.
Well, we did get to see the co-host.
Yep, Mark Romano.
Mark Romano was there, and he was on the show, and we've got a great interview with him. It's not going to be in this episode, but that's going to be in an episode coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
But Evan, in case you guys didn't know, he was out there helping me with the media. He was taking the pictures, the videos, doing the post on the social medias. So all the lives and everything are thanks to Evan. So give Evan a round of applause, Leadheads. Stand up in your seats right now, unless you're driving, and give Evan a big attaboy.
I can hear it now.
Right? All
Sounds
10
amazing.
of them.
Thanks, guys.
All 10
of them.
them.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. It was a lot of fun there.
So you missed the range day, so I hated that part of it, but you did make it for the rest of the show, the big show. So and this was your first time at SHOT Show.
That is correct.
Being at SHOT Show, you've seen about it, you've heard about it. Did it live up to your expectations?
That and then some. Yeah, I expected a little bit less in the sense of like the size of the place, the amount of people, the amount of vendors. I was blown away. The generosity of everybody there. I think the Second Amendment community has a lot of really, really, really good people in it. That it was awesome to meet them all. Yeah, I mean, I could not be more grateful for the experience.
And I will say that everybody that encountered you, that came up to me, complimented you, said that you were very respectful. They liked you. You were funny. That you're a good dude. So you made a good impression on everybody, especially the crew at KelTec.
Well, they must be meeting somebody else. I don't know who they're talking about.
No, it was you.
That's really cool to hear that.
It was you. You represented the Leadhead Brigade very well, and I appreciate it, and I know the Leadheads do too, and all the content that you brought during the show and that we're continuing to crank out. We've still got tons and tons of media and lots of interviews, which in this episode we're going to roll out several, and I kind of made this the Utah theme show because you met a lot of people there that you knew. I
did.
And were familiar with. And this group of people at Utah Shooters, Jason and Tyler, you brought them by because they've got an event that's going to be coming up here in the next few months. It's called SHOOTAH.
Yes, sir. SHOOTAH is a huge public shooting event, and it's one of the best opportunities that you can bring your family out to and shoot some suppressors, machine guns, night vision. It's like an all-inclusive event, and it is a real blast. And it's in Springville, Utah. It's going to be on May 20th.
There you go.
Super stoked.
And we've got that interview, so Jason and Tyler will tell you guys more about that.
Yep.
And where you can get tickets for it. So if you're in the Utah area or if you'd like to go to Utah, that's one that you definitely don't want to miss. And then as I was talking to them, they were talking about a bank there in Utah that is a 2A friendly bank. And we all know that the larger institutions, especially financial institutions, have been really suppressing the Second Amendment community, anything related to the firearms industry. They've really been giving us a hard time, and whether it's not allowing accounts there or banking transactions or credit cards or whatever it may be, these guys are for that. It's CCB, Capital Community Bank, David, Mike, and Dustin. Jason and Tyler were able to get them on. They had a booth there set up at SHOT Show. I think this is a great service that they are offering to our community, and I felt it very important that we get the message out for these guys. So be sure you check out this. And they are firearms enthusiasts. They are 2A proponents. They carry, they hunt, they shoot, they do all the stuff. So listen to that interview, and after you do, go check them out. Let them know how much you appreciate them backing our community, and let them know you wanted to be a sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, it was great meeting those guys. They're super genuine people.
Yeah, they were. They were real good guys. I think it was the first time they've been on a podcast. They were a little nervous, but they did a good job.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. And then I can't remember. I thought this guy might have been from Utah, but maybe not. He's got a company called Got Your Six. His name's Jared Rahman, and he's developed an app. It's kind of like a fire team app. It's for groups of people to get together and start, a community, a network, to where you can quickly reference, access, and get to the people that you rely on. So whether it's an attorney, a doctor, some sort of a product or service, or just somebody, your neighbors, somebody that's in your immediate group of connections. If you have an emergency, you need help, then it gets you in touch with them quickly. So that's going to be in this episode. And then also kind of jumping a state up. Is it up or over? Where's Idaho in relation to Utah?
Straight up.
Straight up.
Dog.
Head north to Idaho at Buck Knives, and we've been talking about this for a few years now. They've been working on their new Buckmaster knife, and it's the Buckmaster Dive Pro. Has finally been released. It's a military-only release at this point, but it will be available to civilians. And Evan made a tease pose post the other day where it was in its sheath. So I think we can go ahead and unveil it now to all the listeners. But
it was super cool.
They unveiled it at SHOT, and of course they came by the studio, and we did the exclusive release with you leadheads. So all that in this episode. So grab a root and growl, get ready. All the fun, all the entertainment is coming for you guys. But before we do that, I kind of wanted to talk to Evan a little bit more about his first experience at SHOT Show. So it was kind of an ordeal getting there. Do you want to tell people about the travels, the trials and tribulations?
I'll give a quick rundown. So I drove my it's an old little Suzuki, and it was somewhat reliable until that trip. But yeah, the wheel bearing went out in the middle of Utah, and fortunately a little shop was open Sunday. They got some of it fixed, had to order some parts from Vegas, stayed the night in Cedar City. They told me they couldn't fix it, so I rented a car, and then I missed range day, which was a sad event, but that's okay. Got down there and met up with my pops. He was down there for the food convention, so hung out with him, and yeah, so it was an ordeal getting there, but I kept thinking to myself, as long as I get down there, I know it's going to pay off, and it did.
Yeah.
Just had a hell of a time there. So SHOT Show in general, man, like I said, it blew me away. I think the best thing about it, and from what I heard from a lot of people, was the people you meet, and then the people you reunite with. Looks like we got Billdo T. Baggins coming online here.
He's trying. Look at that shitty ass. I think he's got jizz on his camera. There, now it's focusing.
Well, it's that bright ass. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Evan and his experience at SHOT Show. This was his first SHOT Show. You finally made it. So day one, you get there, you walk in. I'm kind of guiding you in, telling you, just walk in.
Yeah.
And we were set up at the KelTec booth, the official Leadquarters for Talking Lead, at SHOT Show, and we got passes to where we could go in before everybody else, so we could go set up and do our stuff and all that. Yeah. So you missed the crowd coming in. You didn't get to experience that on day one. So you come in, and what are your thoughts as you're walking in that empty hallway in the morning?
Well, I didn't expect that convention center to be as large as it was. I still didn't see the whole thing.
Did you ever make it up to the top floors?
No, I didn't even know there were other floors. I had no idea. Like the day I left, I was looking at the maps. I'm like, wait, what the hell? There's like a floor like 3, 4, and 5, I think. And I had no clue, so I missed out on those. But so the first day, found the booth. I thought for sure I was going to get lost, but fortunately I didn't. And I was just blown away at like how much money goes into setting those booths up. They're phenomenal. It's like, man, if I set something like that up, I'd be living there for a year or two before I tear it down, because they were rad.
Some of those are more than people's houses.
Levels. Yeah, it was definitely a sight to see, and I expected something a little bit less. I've been to gun shows and like hunt expos. It's nothing like SHOT Show.
Yeah, and then of course they've expanded it over into Caesars as well.
Right.
So not only in the Sands there at the Venetian, but now it's over there in Caesars. And I walked over there. You and I walked over there a couple of times, and we specific people we were going to see, but there was so many more vendors and booths set up over there too. And then they even had an outside area, which we kind of trickled out to,
yep.
And they had things set up and events going on out there. Music was jamming, and I don't know, man. There was just so much more they've added to it since, in the years past since I've been there. But Bill got to walk around quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you kind of got to see some of the new additions and whatnot. So talk about what all you were seeing.
Last year was kind of lackluster because a lot of the big companies didn't show up, but this year it was jam-packed, and no matter what. Even that outdoor area you guys talked about, nonstop people over there. Music was a little deafening, but maybe I'm a little old. And
yeah, it was loud.
Just can't take it. Yeah. right before I hopped on this, Elaine was asking me a question, and I couldn't hear shit about what she was asking me.
Do you think it's because of the music from SHOT Show? Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, it could also be because of the SHOT Show crud that deafened me for a few days.
I think you just got selective listening when it comes to Elaine.
No, you know better than that. You don't selectively listen with her. Otherwise, it's your ass. But yeah, there was a lot of activity in that Caesars Forum area. And I hope you guys got to walk through the whole area. It took me no. You guys missed out. There was a lot of really cool stuff there.
No, we would go in the mornings before it got started because we had to be back at the booth recording.
Right.
So we were trying to get in early and just walk and see. There was nobody there usually, but we did get by Mission First. Got to check out their booth, which it was set up really nice. I liked it. SEAL 1.
Yeah, had a good time there with Dave and the guys.
Yeah, went over to see Dwight at SEAL 1. Raphael over at Bursa. Checked out his booth and their new AR they've got over there. Wasn't able to get an interview with Raph on the new Bursa, but we're gonna try to get him after Iwa, after he gets back from Iwa.
That's this week, isn't it, or next week?
I think they all head out this week, and it's next week.
Right. Okay.
That big gun show, and it's even bigger than SHOT Show, isn't it?
I think so. It's the biggest one in Europe. I know that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
International Weapons Association or something. I don't know what EWA stands for. So you did you go down to the basement? Did you walk around the basement? Because that's usually where all the newer, smaller, mom and pop type companies are.
Me or
I went down.
Both of you.
I did.
Go ahead, bro.
I did. Not as much as I probably should have, but the one benefit was meeting the guys from Silent, which they came up and interviewed with you.
Yeah, we're going to have that interview, not this episode, but it's coming up. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, they make Faraday bags.
Yep. Probably the coolest product I saw there.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Yeah.
It was a cool product, but I don't think it was the coolest product there.
Well, for me, I never realized that Faraday bags were incorporated to backpacks, briefcases, sleeves, or whatnot. I'm used to it only on an evidence-based aspect.
Yeah.
So that was,
speaking of,
for me, innovative.
Speaking of evidence-based, have you guys watched the Alex Murdaugh trial any? That's the guy in North Carolina. Is it North Carolina who killed his son and wife? He's the attorney. Well, supposedly, I mean, he's on trial and they're trying to prove that he did it. But I've been watching that the last few days, and because there's a lot of ballistics involved with it.
Okay.
Shotgun. And apparently, there was a 300 blackout that was involved in everything. So, real quick, jackwagon train. Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
So listen to this trial and listen to these people on the witness stand and the attorneys talk about firearms and ballistics. It's just gut-wrenchingly painful to listen to all this. So they're talking about the 300 blackout. They had this witness on the stand. It's like one of the boys' friends that got murdered. And they were saying, all right, so this 300 blackout, and they were talking about optics. It's like, what kind of sights did it have on it? And he's like, well, it didn't have any sights on it. It's like, okay. Did he have one that had sights on it? And they were talking about optics. They had like some kind of thermal optic on one of them. And then they had a red dot on another one, and they were asking this guy to differentiate a thermal versus a red dot. What's the difference in how a thermal and a red dot works? And just listening to this guy fumble through trying to talk about, well, a red dot's got this little red dot inside of it that lights up, and he's like, there's no magnification. And then they're like, with the thermal, it's a background and everything shows up in white. That's kind of like their expert explanations of everything. And then they were talking about the effective range of a 300 blackout. What would you guys, typical effective range of a 300 blackout? 500 yards? Max? Yeah, like 300.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy said 50 to 75 yards.
Interesting.
50 to 75. And they're like, and why did he not suppress this one? Because apparently he had suppressors on some other ones. And he's like, well, because the suppressor makes the bullet less accurate and it doesn't go as far, and just you wanted to reach out and smack these people and say, no, you idiots. And they're like, then that's why he didn't have a suppressor on this one? He goes, yeah, because we use it for hog hunting. It's like, okay, so you got a red dot on it and you think it only does 50 to 75 yards and you're taking it hog hunting. Ridiculous. And then there was some shotguns involved too, and just listening to him talk about that, it's just ridiculous.
Gut wrenching.
It is. So those are my jackwagons. It's like the attorneys, the defense attorneys, should have done a better job prepping their witnesses in the terminology and themselves in the terminology of the firearms. But
I got a jackwagon.
Yeah, let's hear it. And you're a jackwagon right now because your camera's sideways.
Yeah,
you're like,
I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Turn it that way.
Figure it out one of these days. There we go. All right.
There it is.
There it is.
There we go.
No. So all the guys who at SHOT Show were rolling around with like the wheelie carts just full of all the pamphlets. Like they were just filling up with these booklets. And I'm like thinking to myself,
every year.
Do they not have access to the internet? Like, do they just have to have these booklets to just read through? Or they use just toilet paper? Like, what is going on with all of that? Yeah.
You talking about these things?
That one's not so bad because it's got Chad on it.
Yeah, but they all make them. They all put them out because people take them.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not saying it's bad to collect them, but it's like the guys with these carts and you're just tripping over them. And, I get some people have to roll around in the scooters.
So Evan got his first experience with the Cartmeisters. Yeah. They make the list every year, Evan. Those people are the bane of everyone's existence at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
I will echo
That's
that.
funny that
there
you
was
bring that up.
a company I went to, and they had laid out all their patches on their counter or display case. Some dude came by and arm swept them all into his...
No.
Oh yeah. All of them gone. And off he went without saying
Was it Hank Strange?
Guys.
That's some bullshit. He's just selling them on eBay.
Oh.
Probably. Yeah, he's probably got a web store. They probably sell these catalogs too. They probably take them back to Taiwan or China or wherever it is they're from.
Right.
And sell them there too.
So I agree with you, Evan. Yes. Jackwagon. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't really see any jackwagonery-ness going on at SHOT Show other than that. We had no issues with COVID or the mask. That wasn't even a thought. Transportation went good. The flights went good. Mm-hmm. Man, I didn't really have any issues as far as any of that goes. And man, what a setup at KelTec with the booth that they had, the little soundproof media booth they had set up for us. Man, it was amazing.
Yeah, that was a really cool setup.
I agree. It was cool walking by you guys all the time, seeing Evan, you working the camera and doing everything, and Marty doing his thing. It's just every time I walk by, I'm like, damn, that's the best one I've seen for you yet.
Oh yeah,
in all the years.
It was a crowd pleaser. People were coming from all over the show just to see it. Like, seemed like everybody who walked by had something to say or wanted to wave at you or wave at somebody in the booth. And yeah, it was bringing people to KelTec's booth for sure.
It worked perfect because it was the plexiglass walls, so you could see through and see everybody, see the track, and they could see what was going on there. But it cut down on the noise. So the quality of these interviews are a lot better than they've been in the past because we were able to cut down on the noise. Now there's still some, you can still hear some of the background noise, but it's not like in years past. So that was really good, and we really appreciate that. But some good news. So our heroes, you guys have heard about the pistol braces and the ruling that the ATF made on all that. Well, there are people fighting back, and there have been lawsuits suing them for this ruling. Are you guys familiar with that? You heard anything about that?
Oh, yeah.
So who's the company
FPC
that
just filed a lawsuit?
Who was it?
I believe FPC just put theirs in today or yesterday.
Let's see. There's several companies jumping on it.
Yeah, the GOA, I'm sure they're putting something in. I haven't looked too far into it, but I really like GOA. Second Amendment Foundation. Those guys are awesome.
Here is 1 hour ago. This is from the Washington Post. Veterans sue Biden Justice Department over pistol brace restrictions. Wisconsin law firm is challenging a Biden administration ruling requiring gun owners to register pistols affixed with a stabilizing brace. And accessory federal officials contend that allows people to make handguns more lethal. Fucking buffoonery. Wow. Attorneys with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty filed a lawsuit this week claiming the Justice Department's interpretation of the rule violates the Second Amendment and that a change... First of all gun laws violate the Second Amendment. Let's back that up. So, in regulation requiring gun owners to register a pistol with the federal government would need to come from Congress. Gun owners do not need to register unenhanced pistols this way. The administration says that it has not changed the law, but rather provided a clear interpretation to existing regulations, which is bullshit.
Agreed.
Fellow Leadhead and my friend Pierce Taylor sent me a thing. Here it is. So the FPC has filed a challenge to the ATF pistol brace rule, which is what you said, Evan, and they think the GOA is going to be filing suit as well. And then I think, can we jump on these lawsuits as individuals, as people? Can we all file a lawsuit against them? Let's get 80 million gun owners to file a lawsuit against the ATF and just the NFA in general. You think that would work?
It would be ideal, but that'd be a logistical nightmare.
For them. For them to try and defend that. But then that's how your voice is heard, I guess. You got to sue a motherfucker these days.
Yeah. I don't know if we're all able to just jump on a specific lawsuit. I think there has to be some sort of
so Pierce is listening. Pierce is an attorney. Pierce, how does this work? We need guidance on how we can just inundate them with lawsuits over this and just any of these gun laws. Would that be feasible and would it work? So any of our attorneys that are listening, talkinglead@gmail.com, email me, and we'll figure this out. But yeah, so those are my heroes. So I was just waiting for somebody to step up. And then there was this thing going around. There was a comment section at the ATF. I guess it was a Q&A section. And somebody had asked a question about, what was it?
NFA items, right? Where they talk about somebody else using a suppressor or a short barrel shotgun or rifle. And they made a mistake. But
and
that mistake,
the way they answered it was that if somebody else is even in the presence of that, they're a felon.
Yeah.
If they even look at it, they're a felon. So ridiculous. And the internet went freaking nuts over that. And I think a couple of days later they came out, they're like, oh, that was just, somebody didn't know what they were talking about that answered that question, blah, 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 whatever. So
makes you wonder, though, was it the response that the internet gave about that made them go back, or was it an honest mistake on their part,
Well, I don't think that if the internet didn't make a fuss over it, nobody would have ever known. They probably wouldn't even have known. And it was in a Q&A part of it. It wasn't like an official stating rule or anything like that. So I don't know. But yeah, they need to be called out on their bullshit, even if it's something that minor.
I agree.
Yeah. So there's my Leadhead Brigade, Heroes, and Jackwagons. You guys got any more? No.
Nope.
So let's wrap up our final thoughts on SHOT and let's get into these interviews. So, Evan, your first experience there, you got a good 4 days full of SHOT Show. You got the after. You didn't really get the full after show experience, like going to all the parties and stuff, but I
think I got enough of it at that one Huxworks party. I'm not really huge on parties.
That was not a typical party.
A gathering, I guess.
It wasn't a good one to really gauge it from. No.
Yeah.
Like the Glock party would have been good. I don't know if they did one. Did Glock do one this year?
Glock did. No, they did not.
Yeah, they haven't done one in a while. Did you go to we didn't go to the Daniel Defense one either, did we?
No, that was a good one. You missed that.
Yeah. That would have been a good. We had some other stuff going on, but
you did.
We'll correct that next year. We'll do some after event stuff. We had some good dinners, good food.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that's some of the best food I've eaten ever. I couldn't believe it. I was like blown away. But yeah, man, my overall take on it was a really, really cool experience. And I think, like everybody says, it's all about the people you meet. I got to meet Bill here and finally got to meet you, Lefty, in person. And I want to thank you again. I know I've thanked you 1,000 times for it, but thank you for getting me out there. And
you earned it, buddy.
It was a good time because it was a ton of fun, and I met a lot of really cool people that I've made some good connections with. So could not be more stoked about it.
Good deal. Bill, how was it for you? This was your 12th one or something?
Oh, 10th, 11th? I don't know.
Yeah.
Been going for a while. Fantastic SHOT Show. Met a lot of great people. Likewise, met Evan, and dude, you killed it on the video and everything with Marty.
Yeah.
And just watching you move that camera around and all that, and the interviews walking through the Caesars. Damn, you did good, dude.
Thank you,
well
man.
done.
Do better next year.
We got NRA coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you killed it this year, bro. So I look forward to see what's coming next. But no, SHOT Show was great for me. It was good to see a lot of old friends. Great to have you back there again, Marty. Last year kind of sucked without you.
It was good to be back.
Yeah. But love the guys at KelTec for having you there and taking us out to Media Day, even though I got stuck in the rain while you got to go in. But whatever. It worked.
Hey, at least you were there for Media Day.
Exactly. I cannot bitch.
Poor Evan didn't even get there.
I know. That sucked. But that was a good day hanging out with you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
God, I don't know what else. It was just a good show overall. I can't really complain about it.
In the years that I've been going, I think this has probably been one of the best. Of course, your first one's always the best.
Yeah.
My first SHOT Show
was my best.
Yeah, it was my favorite. But this one, outside of that, it's been the best, and that's all thanks to KelTec for making it possible. So thank you, Parker.
Yes.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, George. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Derek, and all the crew there. Hammer and name them all off, Evan.
Oh, I think you just did. I can't remember most of their names. Hammer was the most eccentric, though. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, Hammer's so funny.
He is.
He's such a character. He was on our first episode. We had him on. So go back and listen to our first SHOT Show episode. And they talk about the new 410, the KSG 410, and their new R50, the 5.7 by 28 millimeter rifle that they've got with the ambidextrous folding stock on it.
Yeah, that thing's sweet.
Pretty sweetness. So, guys, we got these interviews coming up with the Utah Shooters. We got the Capital Community Bank fellas. We got Your Six, and then the exclusive for the Buck Knives release with CJ Buck, our good buddy Rich Nyman. I think I called him Newman in the previous episode. It's Rich Nyman. And the gang there at Buck Knives. So enjoy these interviews and make sure you like, subscribe, go to all their Facebook, Instagram pages. Let them know how much you appreciate them sharing the info with you lead heads. And we'll be back with more interviews coming up, so keep an eye out. We've got lots more interviews. We got interviews from Black Rambo. We had Black Rambo on the show. We had Amber from Naked and Afraid. She's been on like 6 or 7 episodes of Naked and Afraid. We had Evan's co-host of The Ultimate Marksman, Mark Romano, and Ton Jones. That was a great interview. Really enjoyed that one. Walk the Talk America gang. We made some new friends. So just lots of cool interviews in the days and weeks to come. So be paying attention. And then, of course, in between, we've got our regular shows that we're dropping. Just released one with Stephen Hunter, the author of The Bullet Garden. You guys, if you've read the Bob Lee Swagger novels, you know that Stephen Hunter is the author of those. And in this one, he goes back to Bob Lee Swagger's dad, Earl Swagger, and we get into the World War II days. But very good book. I finally got through that and really enjoyed it. So go check that episode out too. Enjoy these episodes, and we'll be back with more.
The KelTec KSG 410 is the perfect sidekick with no kick. At just over 1.5 inches wide, just over 26 inches long, and just over 5 pounds, you'll be hard-pressed to find a more impressive 410 bore shotgun. In fact, it's the world's first and only pump-action 410 bore bullpup shotgun. The side-by-side dual feeding tubes and one in the chamber delivers an impressive 11-round total capacity, making it as functional as it is fun. Innovation, performance, KelTec.
How's it going?
Hey, Jason.
Happy to be here.
Hey, Tyler.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time caller. First-time podcaster. All right, lead heads, welcome back to day 3. Is this day 3? Day 3, right? Thursday? It's really 4 because Range Day's 1. So, of
kind
the
of
actual show.
Kind of all fades together at the
Yeah.
end of the week.
Right? It melds together.
Yeah.
Of the 2023 SHOT Show, bringing it to you from the official Leadquarters here at KelTec booth, 11238. I'm surprised I remember that number. It just rolls off the tongue every time. And we're kicking off day 3 or 4, however you want to look at it, with some fellas from Utah. Some of Evan's buddies introduced us here at the show. And they've got a very cool event that they put on each year. And they're going to tell us about it. Jason and Tyler, welcome in.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad you guys could make it so early in the morning. Were you out party hardy last night, or what'd you do?
Tyler was. I decided to lay down for a while.
You took a little nap,
Yeah.
resting those dogs?
I don't know if you'd call it a party or just a late meeting. I definitely wouldn't call it a party, but
Okay.
it was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they are. They're meetings.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
people call them parties, but it's just a way to come together and meet, get outside this show, and have a beverage, and that's where all the deals are done.
Exactly.
Usually,
Yeah.
usually
It's all about the networking.
all about the networking.
Yeah.
That's right. So, who you guys with? Talk about your organization, your event.
Yeah, so we're Utah Shooters. We have been around for a lot of years, and we do an event called SHOOTAH, which we've done for 8 or 9 years.
SHOOT
AH. Like shoot in
in
Utah,
Utah,
added
and you
together.
just
Yeah,
Had a baby.
smashed
Nice.
Named it SHOOTAH.
SHOOTAH.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
like it.
And historically, it's really just been a range day for Utah residents to come hang out with the large amount of firearm businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of manufacturers and OEMs in Utah, and so it's been a unique range day to get everyone together and let people that live around Utah experience some of what the Utah manufacturers bring to the table in this industry. And we've since, in the last 3 years, grown our event up to about 1,500 attendees.
Oh, wow.
And
How long have you been doing it?
So it's been going for about 8 years, and 2 years ago. So this will be our 3rd year for taking it to a much more national stop for companies. So it's been really neat to see the growth, because each year we just kind of level up, and
Gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I think 4 years ago we probably had 400 or 500 attendees. We jumped that in 2021 to 1,000, or 1,500, and then we had about 1,200 last year. And this year we're gunning for 2,500.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
about 100 vendors with 30 vendors on the firing line, and then everybody else.
Where are you
filling in.
holding this event?
So Springville, Utah is just a little bit south of us, and they've got a nice range up in the canyon that, this year we're probably going to max it out, but it's been a great
I
spot.
was going to say, at some point you guys are just going to.
Yeah, at some point we're going to need to go buy a bunch of land and figure something out on our own.
The guy just wiped out there.
Too much of that meeting last night.
He had too many meetings.
Too many meetings.
There's another person that had too many meetings.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Lock the door.
So yeah,
Utah is a
great.
beautiful state, and the area that you guys are having it in, I'm sure,
Oh yeah, we're
picturesque as well.
We're right in the
Very.
canyon between two big mountains, and it's a beautiful, beautiful big green backdrop.
Yep. Especially that time of year, coming out of winter, everything's just bright green.
Now, is this a 1-day event, 2-day event? What are we?
So
What are we talking about?
historically, it's been a one-day event. The actual range day is a one-day event, but this year we're also doing a benefit golf tournament at the local Top Golf, as well as a soiree, which is our kind of vendor, executive,
B2B.
social media influencer B2B portion of the event, as well as, and that'll be Thursday. Friday will be some other things with vendors and influencers, and then Saturday's the big show.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, you guys are making a whole weekend of it.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
we're
grown.
We're
for
growing.
Sure.
We're growing into that for sure.
Yep.
Now, there's a purpose behind this too. You guys you're raising some money for an organization. Talk about that.
Yeah. So in the last couple of years, we've good friends of ours at the Forge Forward Project, which is a nonprofit based out of Utah, and they are developing technology through the VR world to help with PTSD in veterans and really ultimately end veteran suicide. And they're able to prove at this point that by increasing blood flow to parts of the brain that have been affected by post-traumatic stress, that these individuals can
Helps them cope
heal.
with the
Yeah,
PTS better.
it honestly helps them heal, and so they don't need to be on. We can get away from the drugs and all that kind of treatment, if you can call it that, but actually get to the root issue and increasing that blood flow that's important to get the brain healing.
Okay.
And, yeah, the cool thing is you mentioned help them cope, but it's not just coping, it's actually rewiring the brain to send blood flow to places that have been depleted so that the PTSD is actually gone at some point. And they've been able to prove this medically, and right now they're working on...
Now, is this through a device or through...
So
is
it's
it
through,
medication? What is it?
no, so not medication. It's through therapy via the VR technology with the goggles and environments that they can go and be in, and the same dopamine hit that you get sitting on a beach, or very similar, you also get using the VR with aromatherapy going, so that your brain thinks that you're there.
It doesn't matter though. These guys are going to take me out riding motorcycles.
Oh,
Say it again. Your mic
I
was...
said it doesn't matter. They're going to take me riding motorcycles. So that's all
that's-
that really matters in this whole podcast right now.
yeah, we're gonna bring Chad out and take him up into the canyon on some single track when he comes out to our show.
Yeah.
Do I get to come?
Absolutely, you ride?
I mean, I can't ride, but
We'll throw you on a bike.
I can make bikes fly.
There you go. You can make RVs fly too.
Yeah, I can. I'm magic.
Tell them that story.
No, I am not. I don't think enough time has passed yet for the legal limitations. So the event, did you give the dates on this?
Yeah, May 20, we're going to do the big SHOOTAH event. We'll have that'll kick off at 10 a.m. and we'll have SHOOTAH after dark that night. We'll be playing with some night vision and thermal, doing a bunch of cool experiences, some neat shooting opportunities with that. And then, earlier in the week on Thursday, May 18th, will be the benefit
Now,
golf,
have you guys
golf
already
tournament.
are the tickets on sale now? Do people buy tickets? Or do they
Not
show
quite.
up? How does this happen?
The tickets will go on sale in March.
Okay.
Possibly early bird specials in February.
Uh-huh.
But plan on March for sure. That'll be open. Look towards SHOOTAH.com or UtahShooters.com. Either of those will take you to where you
What
where
if
you
someone's
register.
interested as a vendor? what do they need to do? Are you full up on the vendors? Or are you
Nope,
welcoming more vendors?
We're not full up, but I think
We're getting there.
our firing line is going to go very quickly. So if anyone's listening that's interested in that, get on that fast. But ultimately, they could hit us up through Instagram, would be a good way, or our email, info@utahshooters.com.
And the Instagram is Utah Shooters, at Utah Shooters. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
You got to do the SHOOTAH. You got to get that.
You know, we
Nailed.
probably should.
We were just
You
talking
need
about
to
that
go
yesterday.
ahead
We were
and
just
nail
talking about that
that
yesterday.
down because somebody's going to steal that now. So do that before I post this.
Okay,
Because
good call.
somebody will steal that.
We will. We'll get on it.
Yeah. Get on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said he's
So,
going to
yeah.
get on it.
Get her done.
So talk about your backgrounds. How did you guys get involved with this?
Oh man, that's an
What's
interesting
your
story.
walk of life?
That is an interesting story. So, this is Tyler, by the way. My intro into the gun industry, well, I've always kind of been into shooting and a little bit hunting. Grew up hunting waterfowl in the Pacific Northwest. But I started a gun holster company with a friend of mine, and it blew up really quickly. And
Like literally or figuratively?
yeah, well,
More
it
figurative.
was successful.
grew very quickly, yes. I hired Jason as a general manager. A few years later, sold that to my partner, and long story short, Jason ended up back with me for Utah Shooters to help run SHOOTAH and all the great things we're doing here. I guess you probably got more to your story though, so you can go there.
I guess you don't want to mention that holster company.
The holster company is Stealth Gear USA, so
Okay.
pretty well-known company, and it was a well, you haven't heard of it, so that's fine with me. Anyways, yeah, that was a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that out of Utah?
That was out of Utah, yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, Tyler and I actually go back a little bit before that. We just were in an off-roading club together, and he had started posting these holsters on that local forum, and I was one of the very first customers to purchase off the website,
Yeah.
and started doing gun shows with them, and then went full-time with them. But yeah, I was at Stealth Gear for 5 years maybe, a couple years after Tyler had left, and then I spun off into a flashlight company.
Okay.
As a head of development there, and then Tyler kind of
Do you
poached
want to
poached
mention
me.
that company?
I don't know, it doesn't matter.
For reasons, if
It
you
was-
just don't
no,
want
it
to
was-
plug them, that's fine. But I just,
No, I don't know. Lux Pro.
Lux, I think I've heard of Lux.
They're they're out of Utah as well.
Okay.
But then Tyler poached
I've
me.
never used their products.
Yeah.
You'll see them.
They're good lights.
We'll give them a plug. You'll find them in the Home Depots, or no, the Lowe's.
The
generally.
Lowe's, the
yeah.
blue store,
Sportsman,
not the orange store.
Yeah.
Shields, yeah. So, anyways,
Cool.
a lot of those headlamps are I designed them. So go get like some of the newer.
So
headlamps.
prior to that, you guys have any military law enforcement background, or
no,
no,
actually,
neither of us.
no?
Neither of us do.
Just always enjoyed the outdoors and firearms, and
Yep. Just
Yep.
enthusiasts.
just
So,
enthusiast.
yeah, and through Stealth Gear, I mean, we worked with a lot of, at least I personally worked with some Navy SEAL groups and some other special forces. And so I think through Stealth Gear, we worked with a lot of law enforcement and a lot of military groups to get them
Sure.
outfitted. So we've just kind of always, it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of it and help get people gear that they feel like they can trust for a mission. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, we've kind of moved that into more of a local focus to keep the Utah 2A strong and alive. And we do other events where we teach kids proper firearm etiquette. And,
Nice.
we
Okay.
we usually get about 100 kids out to our events, and we do those through the year. So, I mean, it's much larger than just our SHOOTAH event. We're training teachers to get their concealed
Mm-hmm.
permits. We're training kids to understand and respect firearms. So,
Okay. So you're more of a training company? Is that what I'm?
So-
I would say education,
Education?
and marketing.
Leducation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Our whole
what we
goal
call
is
it
to
here.
build the shooting community in Utah, and realistically, moving into a nationwide thing, where we're trying to put consumers with the manufacturers and the businesses, and build respect for law enforcement, and encourage training so that everybody that does use their Second Amendment to have a gun is prepared for whatever comes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. And give your website, your social medias again.
So utahshooters.com or shootah.com, and social media is just at Utah Shooters.
Okay. So if you guys are interested in attending the event in May,
May 20th.
May 20th, it's coming up. Probably should go ahead and keep an eye on their website, their social medias, when you can get those tickets. And if you're a company and you're interested in setting up as a vendor or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. help
Yeah,
us hit
get in touch with
help
them.
us hit a donation goal of 30,000 for Forge Forward.
There you go.
That'd be really cool.
Our whole goal here at the SHOT Show has been to build our vendor list, and it's been incredibly successful. Everybody that we've talked to
I can imagine. Yeah,
is
I'm
pretty
sure
much
everybody's behind you 100%.
Yep. So, yeah, if you're listening and you want some info, just go to our website and you can see kind of what we do and what SHOOTAH's all about, and let us know.
So you guys have been walking the show. Obviously, you've been walking around,
Yep.
introduce yourself to people and seeing things. What's one of the coolest things that you've seen since you've been here? Would you say?
So we've been coming to SHOT Show for
A lot of years.
a while now. So once you come for a while, it's
Yeah, you kind of just get
It's a
Yeah,
lot of the
you know,
same
everything
stuff.
just glazes over. Yeah,
I will say
but
one.
that's the thing, and that's perfect because you guys have, and I'm the same way. But sometimes something will catch my eye, and I'm like, oh.
for sure.
So have you had that moment yet?
I think there was a company downstairs, also out of Utah, called Magnatech.
Okay.
And they have a neat product that I think maybe has a few iterations to go, but it looks like a solid product where it's, and I'm going to butcher the neodymium magnets.
The
And-
rare earth magnets?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can. There's all sorts of different mounts. You can mount scopes, optics, flashlights, to your firearm, all the different rails. To your molly. So that looked like a really cool product that is up and coming.
So it's a magnet. So it's not like a lock-in, like a M-lock.
So
or
he's
a
his
Picatinny rail?
version 2 is going to have a way to lock the two plates together, because right now they magnet together. But probably
Yeah.
like
I mean, those magnets are really strong.
Very strong.
And
Yeah.
they're hard,
Oh, yeah.
hard to get apart. But
I don't know.
mean, there's still going to be some movement, I would think. With the recoil and
So he said under his testing, they're not moving under firing conditions.
And
So-
he does
Interesting.
have
That
a
is
locking
interesting.
mechanism,
Yeah,
so
the-
that when they
I think that's
magnet on, they
coming
lock
out.
onto there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I think
Interesting.
in that second iteration, that's
Yeah.
going to be a
I'm
solid,
seeing more and more
solid
uses
product.
of magnets. People
Yeah.
are utilizing in their products. Holsters.
Yep.
Mission First just came out with their new Pro Series holsters that utilizes a magnet that's holding the gun.
for retention.
Yeah, and there's no other. It's just the magnet that's the retention. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that we're seeing a lot of, and I'm sure everyone would agree with this, is the 3D printing technology.
Oh, yeah.
Making its way
Yeah.
really into the suppressor world, and kind of across the board to make some really amazing stuff.
I had no idea the quality level that you can get with 3D printing, really, until some people were showing me things at this show that are 3D printed that I would have thought would have been probably injection molded.
Right.
Just really good quality, smooth finishes that it just blew me away that they were 3D printed.
Pretty
Well,
wild
that
stuff.
technology just improves. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're printing organs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Printing steak, right?
Come on, they're printing food.
I don't know about
It's
that,
Crazy.
but-
I think they are.
No, I don't know about eating that. Is what
Oh,
I'm
about
saying.
eating it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've had some good steak here this week too. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah. It's been. This food here is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
But
That's half the reason to
what
come.
about what about you? What do you think?
Shoot, man. I think for me, what's been really neat, since we focused on a lot of national companies, but also Utah-based companies. It's been neat to see some of the Utah-based companies we're familiar with grown enough to have a booth here.
Mm-hmm.
Even I mean, this is kind of random, but the bank that we bank with is CC Bank. They're the only bank here. And
there's a bank here?
There's a bank here. Yeah, CC Bank out of Utah.
That's unheard of.
It's crazy, but
We got to get them on the show.
They're super.
I want to support that.
Yeah, they're
they're
super
good people.
2A friendly, and they're building a gun range in the basement of. Maybe I actually shouldn't say that. Probably shouldn't say that.
Okay.
It's probably
Cat's
all right.
out of the bag.
No,
It's
it's probably
okay.
all right. It's probably all right. But yeah, I mean, if you want to,
This audience needs to know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
CC Bank, very 2A friendly. They've helped out a lot of the companies that we've hooked them up with.
Yep. They do banking for some of the bigger brands that you
I bet
that you
they
find out of Utah.
I bet they work with the cannabis companies too, don't they?
Honestly, I have no idea about
I'm
that.
just kidding.
But you'll have to ask them when
they're
they're
going to
on
work
the
with the
show.
gun company. They're going to work with the cannabis companies probably too. but-
They are the title sponsor as well of our benefit golf tournament. So they're
nice.
doing a lot of things for the gun community in Utah. And
We would love to have a bank as a sponsor for the Talking Lead podcast.
Hey,
Oh,
Think
we'll
about
talk to
that.
them.
I bet,
That would be amazing.
We know the right people that you should talk to.
I think you should send them our way. Yeah.
Okay, we'll
let's
do it.
talk. Let's talk. So I got a question that I've been asking our guest. just to have fun with.
All right.
But first thing comes to mind, okay? Just first thing comes to mind. Don't ponder on it or try to be
This is like the
philosophical. Or just first thing comes to mind, okay? What is one thing that you'd like to see completely disappear, gone completely in 2023, never to return?
the ATF.
Any talk ever of COVID. I'm just done.
Yeah.
There you
I'm
go.
done with COVID.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
like those answers.
Yeah.
Winners.
Winning.
Ding, ding, ding.
Did we pass?
Winning. You passed. You passed. Jason, Tyler, I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you.
Sharing the message about your event, helping your charitable organization. Mention it one more time.
Forge Forward Project. Awesome organization doing huge things.
And one more time, website, Instagrams.
UtahShooters.com or SHOOTAH.com, and then social media is at Utah Shooters.
Perfect. Leadheads, check them out. You're not going to be disappointed if you're in the Utah area. You want to go to Utah. That would be a perfect excuse
Good time to do it.
May
to get out
20th.
there. Yeah, and if you play golf, bring your sticks.
Absolutely.
Get involved with that too.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
More coming from the 2023 SHOT Show here at the official headquarters of KelTec, booth 11238.
Ready.
We're doing it. Hey, lead heads, welcome back. This is day 3 of the 2023 SHOT Show, and we are bringing all the action to you from the official headquarters here at the KelTec booth 11238. Is that right? 1123? Does that sound right? Something like
right.
that. I've said it so many times, I don't know if that sounds right or not.
I think you're right.
It's been a wild day, 3 or 4 or 5, whatever day we're in right now. But after the second day, everything just kind of melds and it's a big schmog. So I've brought you guys some cool cats here. This is a company that we can get behind and support for our Second Amendment rights here. I felt this very, very important that we get the message out there that there is a company in this industry that is behind us and willing to support us. So I'm going to let you guys go around the mic, introduce yourselves, and then we're going to start talking. So we'll start here.
So I'm David Francis. I am CC Bank, or Capital Community Bank's Chief Credit Officer, and I'm responsible for approving loans.
I'm Mike Watson. I'm the CEO of CC Bank. We're excited to be here and talk to you today.
Absolutely.
I'm Dustin Phillips, the Chief Lending Officer, and in charge of helping find the loans that David can approve.
There you go. So we got all the chiefs here.
That's one way to say it.
A few of them.
We got all the chiefs in one room. So CC Bank, you guys are out of Utah.
Yep.
The great, beautiful state of Utah. Been there many times. I love it.
Excellent.
Wouldn't mind retiring there sometime. It's just your alcohol laws just really get me. I like my beer.
Well, we have beer. We have alcohol.
You do.
It's a little harder to get. You have
Yes.
to plan ahead.
Yeah.
But we still have it.
You have to drink more of it to get the same effect, too.
You do,
The
don't you?
percentages are lower.
A little bit lower. Yeah, that's right. Because of the altitude, right? Is that what they're saying?
I guess so.
Is that what they?
Different effect.
An interesting fact that I learned from one of your guys is that kegs are illegal in Utah. Did you know that?
Yes.
You did know that.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. What is up with that? I know we're not here to talk about beer, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
It's probably
Work
because
with
we
me.
don't have any breweries. We do have distilleries.
Yeah.
And there's several kind of in the works opening up. We just don't have we don't have like a Budweiser or a Coors brewery in the area, so it's not something that they really transport kegs across state lines.
Huh.
That's probably why.
Okay. It could be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are sillier laws for sillier reasons, so who knows? I just thought that was an interesting fact.
I
was
wasn't
like-
aware of that. So
Kegs are illegal? Yeah, I can't have kegs. Okay, sorry.
so maybe you won't be retiring to Utah.
Well, that's what I said. I was thinking about it, but then there's this this alcohol thing we got to work on too. Maybe we can get a bank that's pro alcohol and get some laws changed too.
You
But
just convert over to hard alcohol, hard liquor.
hard liquor, yeah, I could do that. Well, I mean, I do like Jack, so
There you go.
yeah, I like my brown liquor. Yeah, so there we go. So you guys are a bank. People are like, why, Lefty, do you have a bank on your Talking Lead podcast? And I think as most of us know, and especially anyone who runs a business that's 2A or firearms related, that it's hard to get a loan to get your business going and started. And you guys are Pro 2A. So you welcome the 2A community, firearms companies.
Yeah.
So talk about some services and things that you guys are doing for this community.
Yeah, so we're a 30-year-old community bank. We've got 5 branches. We just opened up another one in St. George, Utah, which is in the south.
Yeah.
But we're very Pro 2A. We have some of our marquee customers are a precision rifle manufacturer, a suppressor manufacturer. We're actively seeking customers in this industry. This is our second year at SHOT Show, and we look for firearm manufacturers, firearm retailers, parts manufacturers, and so forth. We provide commercial term loans, so if a firearm manufacturer needs to build a new manufacturing building, we can provide that for them. Right now, our legal lending limit is a little over $16 million. So we can do
that'll get
pretty
most
big
projects
loans.
done. Yeah.
We can do lines of credit. So if a retailer needs a line of credit to buy inventory, bridge cash flow gaps, we can facilitate SBA loans.
Okay.
But what we're seeing in the industry, and right before we came up here, is we were talking to a customer that got dropped on their head by some of the bigger banks. I'm not going to mention any names.
Sure.
Okay. But in one of the big banks is one that's had quite a bit of scrutiny for some deceptive practices. But they dropped them on their head. They pulled their financing from them.
Just right out from under them.
Yeah. So
just because they're firearms related.
Exactly.
No other reason.
Reputation risk is what they claim.
That's what they have.
Reputation risk. Oh my gosh. Now, being in Utah, are you limited to just companies in Utah, or can you do nationwide here?
No, we can do lending to any state in the nation, and we do lending in all 50 states, consumer and business lending. So yeah, no matter where you're at, we can help you out.
Very good. That is awesome. Being firearms enthusiast yourself, I would assume.
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. What is your preferred? Do you guys carry in Utah?
Yeah, so
what is your carry?
It's open carry state. I carry anytime I'm not in the office because I enjoy exercising my 2A rights.
There you go. And what's your preferred carry? Which
so handgun? I was telling Mike this morning. I recently bought a Wilson Combat. But
spare no expense. Okay.
Yeah, there's I kind of worry if I ever have an issue with it that it might be impounded for a while. I may go back to my Kimber 1911.
Okay. Why would it be impounded?
When he shoots somebody.
There you go.
If
I have to use it.
Is it not legal in Utah?
No, it's legal.
Okay.
But they confiscate it as evidence.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
You should get it back.
We don't let David do collections for the bank.
But you're only going to shoot somebody if it's justifiable.
Absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
You'll get it back. What about you?
Yeah, I carry right now a SIG 365.
SIG 365. Okay. I heard a lot of people that are carrying the SIG 365.
It's a great little gun. I've been trying out the Hellcat lately too, with the optic, the Wasp optic. They're shipping them with now. I kind of like that, but I don't know if I'm going to switch or not.
You digging that?
Yeah. I'm liking it.
Have you had any trigger time on it yet?
Yeah, a little bit, not enough, but
okay.
A little bit. So still testing them out.
There you go.
As you get older, having the optics on it is better.
I can attest to that. Absolutely.
My near vision is deteriorating.
It's not so near anymore, is it?
And so having a red dot sight on it is pretty sweet.
Absolutely. How about you?
I don't carry, but I support the right to carry.
Well, and you are exercising your right not to carry, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
But guess what? You're not imposing that on anybody else, are you?
That's exactly right.
And I applaud you for that.
No, it's good.
But you're working for a 2A,
Absolutely.
That says a lot.
And I do have a gun, but I don't carry.
You don't carry? What do you have?
357 Magnum.
Nice. That's why you don't carry it. That's a little big.
That's just because I gave it to him. So.
Now, are you fellas into hunting?
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
So in 86 days, I'm headed to Africa for Cape Buffalo.
Ooh, man, jealous right here. Is this your first African safari?
It's actually been our third African trip.
So addicted.
Just a tiny bit. My wife hunts with me too.
Oh, okay.
So when your spouse hunts with you, it's kind of good, bad, right?
Good. I think
it's good. But then every time you go out and buy a new gun, you have to buy two.
Well,
that's good too, though.
Yeah, but she likes to hunt Africa, and we've hunted Argentina and a couple other places.
So do you take your own rifles?
We do.
Okay. So I know some places will provide them for you, especially with traveling like that. You don't have to worry about the travel.
I like to do fly fishing and fly tying, and it's kind of neat to catch a fish on a fly that you've tied. And
sure,
I reload my own ammo, so bringing your own gun just adds another level of.
So
of
you
enjoyment
reload
to
also.
that.
Yeah. Well, we're getting all the levels of David here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sadly, that consumes a lot of my free time.
Yeah. And what are you loading? Which round are you loading?
Well, for the Cape Buffalo, I'm going to shoot a Ruger African Safari in 416 Ruger.
416 Ruger.
And
nice.
then for most of the other planes game, it's going to be 338 Win Mag or my wife's 308.
Okay. Very nice. What about you? You a big hunter?
I used to when I was growing up. I hunted a lot of deer and elk, all the local game in Utah, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of got out of it a little bit, and because my kids weren't really into it as much. But now my sons are like, "Hey, why don't we ever go hunting?" I'm like, "Well, because you never wanted to go hunting." So we're planning a hog hunt down to Texas to kind of introduce them a little bit and have a little bit of fun shooting some pigs.
And then I'm trying to get Mike to go to Africa.
Yeah, I'm working on a safari.
Why
too,
would you
so
not do that?
I'm scheduling it. I am doing it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
That's just
with
the next
you or
step.
just to go?
Well, we've got friends that own a ranch in Namibia, and so I think Namibia is a good place to go for a first-time African hunter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you hunt?
I've heard a lot. I've never been to Africa, but yes, I
Okay.
do hunt. Yeah. That is like one of my dream things to do is to go on an African hunt. Yeah.
It looks pretty incredible.
I've got several friends that have been to Namibia,
There you go.
that place, and they always come back with just trophy,
Yeah, so they're unique in that.
But what I don't like is you can't bring the meat home with you. You got to leave it there.
Oh, but you can eat a lot of good meat over there.
While you're there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would just love to bring some of that home, put it in the freezer. That would be awesome. Or them to bring it home so I could eat their meat. But
There you go.
So what about you?
Do
Nope.
not hunt either.
Don't hunt either.
No, I've got a spouse who cries when you bait a hook with a worm because it hurts the worm. So
So you don't fish either, I tell you.
I do not. I fished as a kid with my dad. We actually fished some pretty exotic places in South America.
Yeah.
But I haven't fished in probably 40 years.
So we took Dustin to Costa Rica, and you caught your first mahi and tuna. Did you catch?
I caught 2 tuna and the mahi.
So we're trying to get them hooked.
There you go.
My wife did not get on the boat though. She stayed on the shore.
Okay. Well, I mean that's okay. But you enjoyed it, right?
It was a ton of fun.
Did you get to eat the
Absolutely.
the catch?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. We brought it onto the.
Did your wife eat it?
She did eat it.
Okay. Are you from Utah?
Born in Utah, but lived all over the world. I've been 5 different continents.
Military?
Government.
Government stuff?
Yep.
What kind of government stuff?
Drug enforcement.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So Venezuela, Pakistan.
So federal?
Yeah.
Doing the federal? Okay.
Yep.
Nice. So golf. Do you play golf?
I do play golf.
Here we go.
And my wife plays with me.
And she plays. Okay, she's not afraid to smack that white
That's
ball
right.
around. Okay.
The white ball has no feelings. We're
It
okay.
has no feelings. Very good. And you all of you guys play golf?
I
You
do
don't
not.
play golf. That's right. You don't play golf, and you're not
No golf, which is weird for bankers, right? People think that's all we do.
right.
Well, early on, I'm like, man, I got to find something to take clients and go do because I hate golfing.
Yeah, take
And
them to the
so
range.
I got a trailer. I put all kinds of gun stuff in it. And we go to the range. We'll go outside. We'll go shoot skeet. So that's what I take clients and go do.
Skeet
takes
shooting?
yeah, skeet shooting. Any type of shooting we go.
Yeah.
Mike's got a trailer full of portable targets, and we can go out in the desert and kind of shoot pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we do for clients who also don't golf.
Yeah. That's fun.
David's got a membership at the local club as well that we can go to and shoot to.
Okay. Now, how's the axe throwing in Utah? Is that like a thing?
It
I took my team there for a team building exercise, and we had a blast. Some of them.
It's great when everybody gets along, right? You got those sharp, heavy objects in your hand. You might want to.
Yeah, but some of them had never thrown an axe, and they had a blast.
Yeah,
yeah, it was
it's
cool.
it's a thing now. I can't believe how much it's, and they do it in bars.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dangerous mix.
Yeah, alcohol and axes. I don't know about
I just never saw that being a thing. Now throwing axes, yeah. Alcohol, bars, yeah, that's a thing. But somebody smashed those together and this is a great idea. And apparently it was.
It works.
Who'd have thought? I went to visit my buddy in Michigan, and they have got this huge bar, recreational place, where they have the axe throwing, and they have curling.
Mm-hmm.
Curling. I've never seen curling outside of the U.S.
Olympics, right?
Yeah, I didn't know you could actually go to a bar or anywhere, for that fact, and just
do curling.
I guess Michigan,
like going and playing, basketball in a gym.
They're close enough to Canada, so maybe it works there.
I guess, but
some of our clients who were talking about financing firing range construction. Yeah, they're talking about putting a cigar bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And coffee bar and that sort of thing. So, I can see them putting curling in there and axe throwing too.
I mean,
why not?
Why not? The best of all worlds. Oh, and there was this other thing too, where it was a hybrid of football and bowling.
How did that work?
You throw a football at the bowling pin. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a Michigan thing. Oh, it looked fun, but again, you're at a bar, so get some of that dark whiskey in you, and you'll throw a football at some bowling pins, I guess. And then it's going to be the axes that are going down there.
Now that could be fun.
But no, this is great, man. I really like that you guys are behind the 2A community, a financial institution. What other services can you offer to a firearms company or 2A company?
Yeah, we talked about the lending needs that a lot of companies face, but what we found at the SHOT Show both this year and last year is one of the biggest challenges companies face is from credit card processing, the way they accept their payments.
Yeah.
Some of the big companies out there are just simply cutting off their clients and saying, we're not helping you anymore. And so leaving them scrambling. Picture a business who all of a sudden can't take payments anymore other than cash. It's debilitating. So we have a partner with our credit card processing that is very 2A friendly as well, very accepting of the industry, and we're able to provide that for these businesses as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the news about 4 months ago. Credit card companies were going to start tracking firearm purchases and ammunition purchases.
I did see that, and we talked about that.
And I have some pretty strong feelings about that potentially creates a gun registry that might be in violation of federal law.
That's exactly what it does, because they make this information available to the federal government.
And there's some serious privacy concerns. So what Mike and I were talking about this morning, a lot of firearm purchasers are buying in cash, so their purchase can't be tracked.
Right.
Which is kind of potentially does a disservice to the consumer. And we're talking about ways that we can help some of our customers with their cash management needs.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, but do you think that is going to subside with these credit card companies? Do you think that somebody's going to take them to court and say, hey, this is a violation of people's privacy, their rights, or are they just too big to?
I think we'll get to that point, but they're going to make the change. And then, it could be years before that's settled in court when it comes back up. And by that time, maybe you have 5-6 years
but then
data on that.
How is it any different than, because I really like that My American Express categorizes my purchases, for tax purposes, I'm torn on this because I don't see how it's any different than what they're doing already, because again, they're tracking your purchases and everything that you do.
Well, I think
already.
If they were
not
doing
that it's right, but
if they were doing it for a benefit of the consumer, I could definitely see that point. But I think their full intention is they're being pressured by elements of the government, by larger.
And is that what it is? You think the government has pressured them
Absolutely.
into doing this?
It's part of the ESG kind of culture. So they're not collecting it for the consumer to track their purchases. Because it's already on there as sporting goods right now. I mean, that's kind of where that falls under. And so you can still track it, but to pull it out just specifically for firearms purchases and having that on your credit card bill, then that can really be distributed not just to the government, but there's other businesses that could end up in the hands of.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of putting it out there, and if they want to eliminate what you're able to do and take away your access to the free market, it's just giving them an inroad to do that at some time in the future.
Yeah, it's a privacy concern issue. How do you control how they use your data?
Can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a risk rating standpoint from the credit card processing's perspective.
Right.
They're being forced to rate it as a higher risk transaction, which is again a negative aspect to the consumer.
What's the risk? I don't get it. I don't know. That's a self labeled concern, I guess. It's a concern that doesn't need to exist, but they make it exist.
Right.
I don't know. It's just very frustrating. Yeah. But
yeah, it's a solution looking for a problem.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. But it's refreshing to know that there is an institution out there that is for us, out there for us, available to us, the 2A community. I say us. Not only manufacturers, but for individuals as well, right?
So we're the only bank that exhibits here at the SHOT Show. And last year
I can imagine that
was our first year, and when we approached the folks at SHOT Show, they were kind of over the moon. They're like, wow, this is fantastic. We haven't had a bank ever come.
Yeah.
It's all we can do to kind of staff the booth and keep up with the inquiries we get from exhibitors and attendees of the SHOT Show, who are interested in our mission, our message, and really, kind of see a need for it.
I think what we've got here is a community that is loyal and likes to support those that are like-minded, and we're here to help represent and be a part of that. And so the more we can do to support the community and to be here for the businesses that are here, we want to provide that service.
Well, we greatly appreciate that. And there's just so many other areas that people are blacklisting us from. I just had a gentleman on that had developed an app that brings his community together. Did we talk about this? He's actually from Utah. He's a gentleman from Utah, and this app is. You guys have the red flag laws there? Do you guys have those there?
They're proposed right now.
Yeah, they're
they haven't
proposed.
passed yet,
yeah, so I think that was the concern, is like, if this comes to be, where can we get help? Where can we get a legal representation if we're caught into this? And it kind of led to him thinking, well, other things that the community and friends might need together. So it's building a strong fire team, support team within your community, to where they can go to this app and quickly reference and go to, the attorneys, or where maybe a bank, something
Absolutely.
like that, when their rights have been violated in some form or fashion. But he tried to get the app, put it on the Apple Store and the what's the other one, the Android,
the Google Play Store.
Yeah, the Google. They wouldn't allow him to put it on their stores.
Wow.
So he had to go. Be creative and do this website, jump through a bunch of million hoops. But, we're seeing it in every aspect of this, of the 2A community. Everybody seems to be against us. But there's so many of us, I don't see how that's possible.
Well, that's
It's
one
just
thing.
mind-boggling.
Yeah, when I came to SHOT Show last year, that's kind of the first thing that hit me, is how big this community really is, right? I mean, because, you talk to people, and most people, if they're not really, into shooting and stuff, at least they're supportive of it, like Dustin
I'm a
here.
good example, yeah.
But, you come in here and you realize the support you have from so many industries, getting
It just makes you
together.
wonder how that's possible, that everywhere we go, every facet, there's a block somewhere stopping us. And you're like, well, there's so many people. This guy's got to own a bank, or this guy's got to own an app store or something like that, or this guy's got, but I guess it's that top 1% owns 99% of everything, and controls it.
Yeah, and those voices are very loud that are kind of shouting in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Even though maybe the community is not as large. And a lot of places don't want to take the risk. They'll allow themselves to be bullied.
Yeah.
Out there, and so they'll just not do something because somebody, threatens to,
or they'll fire a teacher.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we just got to stand up for our rights. And, there's going to be pain associated with that, but, we're willing to take that risk to support people. And not just in the second-hand community, but anybody that's marginalized kind of in the free markets. We want to be there for you and give you access, to the cash and the products you need to grow your business.
I love it.
And if you look at how many exhibitors are here, just try to figure out how many jobs they're creating.
Millions.
Millions of jobs. Tons of tax dollars, tax revenue
Billions.
that's being generated.
Billions, yeah.
Communities supported.
But yet they want this all stamped out. And then there goes the economy. There goes, everything else. It's mind-boggling. Again, give your websites, give your social medias if you have that, how people can get in touch and inquire about your services.
Our website is ccbank.com. Same on LinkedIn, same on Facebook, same on Twitter. It's all CC Bank. So if you search that, you'll be able to get a hold of us.
What about a phone number? I mean, people have phones these days, still.
They do.
Is there a phone number?
I'll give you my direct line to my desk.
Okay.
801-669-5722.
I like this guy. Perfect.
That's Dustin.
Dustin, Mike, David, I appreciate you guys being on CC Bank. This is awesome. I've got a question before we leave. I got a question for you. I've been asking all my guests this before they leave, okay? First thing comes to mind, okay? Don't think about it. Just rattle it off. If there's one thing in 2023 that you can eliminate, get rid of, see it gone, say bye-bye, never come back, what would it be? Who wants to go first? I'm going to point. Mike.
You would pick me first,
Yep.
right?
You're the closest.
There's so many options.
There are. All right, here.
Pain in my leg. I tore my Achilles a year ago, right after the SHOT Show.
Man, are you rehabbing that? Did you have surgery?
No surgery, no. Based on where the tear was, they let the ligaments heal on their own.
Okay.
So I just, therapy is walking around, so SHOT Show is good for me.
So no inserting a cow's tendon or something like that?
Nope, nothing like
didn't
that.
Get that bad?
Let it on its own.
David.
This is probably not politically correct, but I'm going to say I'd like to see the Karens go away in 2023.
That's perfectly correct.
Amen to that one.
It may not be politically, but it's perfectly. Did you come up with one?
Sure. My daughter's been going through a lot of health issues, so if there's one thing I could make go away in 2023, that's at the top of my list right there.
Amen. That's going to be mine too.
Thank you.
I dig that.
Appreciate that.
So if you guys are looking for, maybe a podcast to advertise on or sponsor, I know a great one we could introduce you to called the Talking Lead Podcast. We're in over 100 countries. We're in all the states. So, hey, we could talk.
Sounds like a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Leadheads, more coming from the 2023 SHOT Show here at the official Leadquarters of KelTec. All right, Leadheads, we're back at the 2023 SHOT Show. I had to remember where we were at. Damn.
It's easy to forget.
Coming to you from the KelTec booth, the official Leadquarters of the Talking Lead podcast for the SHOT Show. And I got an interesting cat with me today. He's got a cool product that he's working on that I know a lot of you Leadheads will be interested in, especially you preppers type sorts that like to be prepared, like to know where things are, where people are. And joining me today is...
I'm Jared Rahman. I'm the owner of the Got Your Six app, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So, Jared, Got Your Six. This is an application that you put a lot of thought process into, and it's one of those things that people, they need this and they want this, whether they know it or not.
Right.
But once you explain it, they're going to go, "Oh yeah, that is exactly what I've been trying to do."
Yeah. So essentially, what I do is I provide I help everyone have their own QRF as civilians. being with like-minded people and organizing and training with them, when tyranny presents itself, when marauders and civil unrest present themselves, that's what's going to make you persevere, is having a community involvement. So I built an app after a red flag law was passed in the state of Nevada to get like-minded people to start working together to try and preserve and advocate for each other's freedom. So
what is your background?
So I'm
obviously you're a pretty smart dude.
Well, thank you. So I'm a Second Amendment lobbyist here in the state of Nevada.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather did it before me, and with his old age, and he's passed on now, I've taken those reins.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had questions for me about how things go forward here in Nevada with this red flag law, because everyone kind of feels isolated. They all kind of feel alone. They felt like, oh, if I get red flagged, there's nothing I can do. There's no resources. They're just going to take my guns and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started thinking about, community involvement and how, even having a list of attorneys in your area that you can preemptively reach out for and get the ball rolling. And the goal is to win and to not let things like red flag laws stand. And from there, it kind of turned into a whole community defense thing. People are, obviously into training, getting out in the mountains and working together. So we started bringing in more education about like small unit tactics. And so now we're kind of bridging the gap between gun rights activists and, high level firearms training.
Right. Yeah. So specifically your area, the red flag laws, kind of set this off for you. At what point did you think the best way to go about this would be, developing this application rather than, maybe a website or, something like that?
Well, so with a website, at the time, push notifications for websites weren't very common. So if you're in trouble, you need to get a hold of your guys right now. The easiest way to do that is with push notifications via an app. And so what happens is if you call on yourself, you respond, yes, I'm going to go help Marty out, who's dealing with this or that. Now, by me responding, it opens up my Google apps, my Google Maps, and tells me how to get to you. So there's so much functionality that you couldn't get from a simple website.
Yeah. How did you learn how to develop an app?
I don't.
I don't have the first clue.
I have coders. I've learned a lot as I went. When I took on this, I didn't know anything about building apps whatsoever. I reached out to the right people, some of the wrong people.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot as I've gone.
Trial and error.
Absolutely. And that continues still to this day. We're constantly improving. We're trying to make it more inclusive for everybody who wants to get involved with their own community, working together and just having cohesiveness.
Right. So if I want this app, is it available now?
Absolutely. So
I'm pulling up my phone.
So we are banned from both the Apple and Google Play stores.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. And what's fucked up about it is they had the, I called them before I developed any of this, be like, hey, is this allowed in your app store? And they said, yeah, it sounds great.
That
Go
was
ahead
your
and build
first
it.
mistake, asking them.
Well,
you should never ask them.
Well, I wanted to at least say, hey, is this something that would get approved, right? So then I built out these native apps, one for Android, one for Apple, and I submitted it to Apple. They immediately told me to go fuck myself because I'm organizing gun owners.
Yeah.
Google had me on for like 3 weeks before they said, nope, never mind, we don't want it anymore. So then I had to rebuild the app on something that's new called a PWA. It stands for Progressive Web App. And it basically takes a website and turns it into an app on your phone.
Huh.
So if you go to my website, gotyoursixapp.net, there's a link to take me to the app, and from there we have instructions on how to turn that website into a standalone app. It's something you're going to see a lot more commonly now.
Gotyoursix.app?
Gotyoursixapp.net.
Okay. Gotyoursix.
The number 6.
App. Oh, the number 6. Okay. APP?
Yes, sir.
What's after that?
.net.
.net. And the .coms are against you too? Is that what?
Actually, yeah, I had a .com. .com's coming back. I had a dispute with my domain host actually just two months ago, so I dropped in the .net. The .com will be back pretty soon. .net and .com will both work the same.
Okay. And when I first got mine, I had to do the .net too.
Right.
I forgot our website. Is this it coming up here? With internet's for shit here right now.
Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, that's it. So in that top right-hand corner under training and shop, there would be a take me to the app button.
Okay.
If you had proper service. You take that, you would be able to sign up.
We are at SHOT Show, and there's like 5 million people here using their phones right now, I guess.
Yes, we're fighting the signals.
So, GOTYOUR6app.net, leadheads, is where you can go get more information about this awesome app and then download it to your communist phone.
Yeah, there's no avoiding that, unfortunately. I mean, it's hard.
So they're not blocking it like on the phones. They can't prevent somebody from downloading it, once they get it, right?
No. So the hosting. So there's front end and back end hosting. As much as I would like to use U.S. servers, I can't use U.S. servers because then they could easily shut me down. But by going to a neutral country.
Yeah.
And having my servers there that don't necessarily like to cooperate with anybody but me specifically.
Sure.
It's a great way to protect information, protect it from getting shut down, protect information from getting seized.
Yeah.
Because
they're not motivated by politics. They're motivated by money.
Absolutely. And,
commerce.
So that's actually a common question I get a lot is why do I charge $2.99 a month for this app? Why don't I make it free, quote unquote, like Facebook and Instagram?
Right.
And it goes against my business model to do that because with apps like Facebook and Instagram, it's free because you're the product, you're not the customer. And I want I want people who are on my app to be customers, and I want to protect their information. And I don't want to. I don't want to mine your information and sell it to some advertisers. Doesn't seem, especially with all the encryption that I've already gone through the effort for. It really makes a lot of sense to protect their information. So if I can do it for the price of a couple fucking street tacos a month, I'm going to do it.
There you go. And what kind of traction are you getting on this right now? How many subscribers that we call them, users?
Absolutely, yeah. Subscribers.
Customers. How many customers?
I hate the word users, and that is common app lingo. Is like, oh, users.
Right. That's the first thing comes to mind. When you think of that. So.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think like meth users when I hear that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that. Like, I like saying subscribers, customers, members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of those are better than user. I don't know why.
Members. How about that?
Members sounds great. Yeah. So right now I'm just sitting at about 900. I've got groups from the Bay Area all the way to New York City in the South. When you go in, you're going to look at Patriot groups. They're available. You can see every Patriot group that's on there. The ones that are, open to being large and region-based, they usually will say, hey, we're from Dallas, it's Dallas-Fort Worth Patriots, let's say.
Right.
But then there's also the more private guys who choose to keep it, as is, and they don't want their group to be big. And so whether you want a big outreach or you want a small outreach, it's entirely up to you.
Where's your largest customer base?
Largest customer base right now is in Nevada because it's local.
Yeah.
And California as well, especially those guys behind enemy lines. I've done sponsorships with the Armed Scholars YouTube channel.
Right.
I got a lot of traction out of California. I'm also seeing a lot of traction in Virginia. Because you never know what's going to happen with their politics out there. A lot of people are being proactive and getting some sort of community involvement, before things get worse. And then the Pacific Northwest, I do pretty well too.
Okay. Now, how are you getting the word out there?
So that's honestly the biggest thing is I'm always looking for different people to help me market this thing, how to get some outreach out there. I can't do Google advertisements. I can't do any type of big internet giant advertising. They want nothing to do with it. I can't even advertise, like paid advertise on Instagram or Facebook. So
I know
it's largely
where you're paying there.
Absolutely, it's largely word of mouth.
Is it a pain though that we don't contribute to them monetarily?
Well,
I think I'm okay with not giving them any money.
That's kind of why I decided not to do this on like a existing platform, because they're not for us anyway.
No,
we don't have anything really like this that is literally just for us. And I'm tired of having to watch what I say because, your account's going to fucking get banned.
Right.
Like we should be able to...
because of what you believe in.
Right.
And how you feel.
Exactly.
Which is a constitutional right. And you're made to feel guilty and shameful about that.
Yeah. And they like to use technology against us. They like to surveillance us. They like to censor us, use technology to censor you, make it so you don't have an outreach. And I wanted to take that same technology and throw it back in their face. And now we can use technology to our advantage to help preserve ourselves and our communities.
Yeah, I like it. I dig it. So the app, again,
is Got Your Six, and you can find it at www.gotyoursixapp with the number 6.net, gotyoursixapp.net. And you can also follow me on Instagram. That's my main social media that I use for informational posts and things like that. And that's also at @GotYourSixApp.
There you go. Leadheads, go check it out. And if it's for you, it's not for everybody, but if it's for you, download that app and make it work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you being on. Jake is on his way.
Jake's on his way.
Jake is on his way.
We'd love to hear it.
So, yeah, this is going to be fun. Does he know you're here?
He does not know I'm here.
This would be good.
I haven't seen him in probably 2 years since...
This will be good. This will be... Because I didn't tell him why.
You didn't tell him why?
No, I just said come by the booth.
Yeah, he's going to see me. He's going to look at me for a second, and he's going to be like, dude... Derek's kid's birthday party. Yeah, that's where we know each other from. And
then the first thing you're gonna say is, "I need to get my kid in your school."
I need to get my kid in your school. Yeah, he runs it like they got.
I've got an app. I might be able to help you out with this app thing.
I'll help you with what you want, man. Get my kid in that good school.
There you go. Leverage.
If all I can do here at SHOT Show
is
get my kid into the best school that he can,
it was worth it.
It's well worth it. It's more important than anything I'm doing right here.
I'm glad to play a part in that. Leadheads, we'll be back with more from the official Leadquarters here at the KelTec booth. Retarded. I'm just going to stop talking.
Oliver is a personal protection and security specialist. He cut his teeth as a United States Marine before leaving the Corps to provide private contract work for agencies outside the military. In private security work, he's always looking for the upper hand and unexpected advantage. KelTec's P50 provides all of that and then some. This innovative pistol chambered in 5.7 has a 50-round magazine capacity in its semi-automatic platform. Its small caliber, high-velocity ammunition is a great personal protection round and is even used by law enforcement agencies and the Secret Service. Oliver likes that the P50 has an AR-like charging handle and that it can be slung for access and shooting stability. The P50 comes fitted with a threaded barrel if he wants to add a suppressor, and the upper and lower Picatinny rails let him accessorize it with lights and optics. This pistol, it redefines cool. Innovation, performance, KelTec.
Are we live? We're live? We're doing it live. I thought you were already live. Okay. What time is it? Like 2:30? We should get some listeners. That's like 4:30 our time. 5:30. So should be some people tuning in. Let Rich get all his. You're gonna cut my cords with that, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I got it. You made that look really difficult.
I know.
All right, Leadheads, we are back at the 2023 SHOT Show, bringing you all the latest and greatest and exclusives here from the Talking Lead Leadquarters at the KelTec booth. So we've got, speaking of exclusives, I've been waiting for this for a while. I've been teased for months and months and months, and it has finally arrived, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Buck Knife crew joining us. We got CJ Buck. CJ, welcome in.
Nice to be here. Thank you, sir.
Yep. We got Rich Nyman.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
With another different color. You had like 5 different colors.
I do. I'm getting
you
a yellow one from Idaho, I promise.
Oh, you better get me a yellow one.
I will. And I'll get signed.
And then you guys have brought a special guest. I'm going to let you do the introductions.
Yes. I would like to introduce Douglas Wallace. He's a good family friend. I've known him probably for Gosh, at least 15 years, I'm thinking. He's also from Idaho. He's served many years in our U.S. military, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you guys for having me. Retired in 2019, known Rich for 15, 16 years
Yes,
now.
sir.
Sorry.
Lucky enough to
Sorry
be
about
friends
that.
with him. And so owner, lead instructor for Huts TSSG. We do security firearms, tactical training for LE military. I work with a couple different partners, one of which is over my shoulder here. Ty Coronado from Spitfire Tactical, located out of New Jersey.
Welcome in, Ty.
And so we do all manner of training, firearm, self-defense, disaster prep, all that good stuff.
And where are you based out of?
I'm right now out of Post Falls, Idaho as well, as Buck Factory.
Okay. Are you guys traveling with your training?
Just here for the show, catching up with old friends.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, we are excited to have you all here. We are missing one of the crew.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He's like the hell of a SHOT Show. Commander Coulter, who is the genius behind this.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So what we're talking about, in case you don't know, lead heads, and for our new lead heads, Buck Knives has been working on a re-release of their original Buckmaster, which Rich was originally produced when?
1984.
Because you wrote the book on this.
Yes, sir.
Literally.
Yes. Yeah.
There is a book, the Buckmaster.
Yeah. Buckmaster knives.
You're going to have to update it now.
Yeah. Well, actually,
it's in progress.
Yeah, we're actually writing a third book. It'll be
third edition?
Yes, sir. And it'll be Commander Coulter and myself. The title, I will share the title because I already I got it going. It's the Buckmaster Combat Series by Commander D.T. Coulter and myself, and I'll have the commander's name first out of respect.
Very nice. And we're teasing, we're live, so we're teasing our live audience right now.
Yeah.
We haven't undressed it. We haven't unsheathed it.
And this, the sheath that you see will be made out of Kydex. It's in product. They're working on it right now for us. Will be American made, and the web gear will also be American made.
Nice.
So this knife will be all American made. And I can have Mr. Buck tell more about it. Really.
CJ, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Buck. Where's he
Buck.
CJ, baby.
That's your dad, isn't it?
That's my dad. Yeah. So yeah. No,
talk to us about the thought process about bringing it back, the demand. I know that a lot of people have been asking for this for many years because when you first released the Buckmaster, it was pretty darn popular. Changed a lot of people's young children's lives like myself. Yeah.
So back in 1984, I was 24 years old, and I was the special projects manager for Buck Knives. So this project came in. It was from a small company up in Oceanside, California, so just an hour or so north of us. And they said they had a SEAL team commander who had requested 2,500 knives for the SEALs. So this potential thing, and it was more of I'm going to call it a First Blood knife, because that was the movie that had come out right around that time, the first Rambo knife.
Yeah.
So everybody was wanting one of these hollow-handled, multifunctional,
beefy knives,
survival knives.
Yeah.
And so they came in. It was not something we ever had considered doing. My father was very much not wanting to do weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So knives were tools as far as my father was concerned. So he didn't want to do anything weapon oriented, and so this was really one of the first tactical type scenarios that we had done in a long time.
Yeah.
Because the knife was survival oriented and really made a terrible weapon. Like with the saw teeth and everything, you once in, you'd never get it back out again. So it was a terrible weapon, but it was a great survival tool. So that was my project.
That's how you sold him on it.
That's how I sold him on it. And so we introduced we finally got into doing the project, did the knife. It was an enormous amount of work, R&D, heat treat. Because when you do any of these military contracts, there's all dichotomies. It's got to be heavy but light, soft but hard. It's just it
Long
really
but short.
Forces you to you really have to optimize both ends of the same scale. And how do you do that? And so it really drove a lot of heat treat improvement, a lot of our own understanding of sectional heat treating, where we're doing certain areas softer than others, and how to not overcook the edge, and there was so much to learn for us with this knife. So we introduced this knife, Commander
a big
Coulter.
project, yeah.
It was a huge project, turned into a huge new product for us. It was probably 20% of our business the year we introduced it. It was enormous, paid bonuses to everybody, so it made everybody happy.
Made his dad happy then, finally.
No doubt.
But one of the interesting things is that particular knife, there were so many, I want to say non-functional aspects as far as the tip was really sensitive. If you were going to really abuse this knife, it may not handle it. So there were areas that the commander had been thinking about for years and years and years and years and years, and so this was an opportunity almost 40 years later to reinvent this knife and develop the perfect dive
Which
knife.
the technology, you know, probably back in the days, it finally caught up to the idea that the ideal knife that he had in mind.
Yes.
And he had direct input, also with active and retired SEALs with himself. And it was just amazing because he wrote, we have this special spec sheet.
I'll just hold this right here.
on the back is Commander's own words and starts in 1967 to modern times, and he said it's 55 years in the making. And
literally,
and to just kind of catch you up historically wise, after the Buckmaster came out in 1984, and the SEALs actually received their order in 1985, 2,500 of them. And sometimes I read stuff on the internet, oh, that never happened. And yes, it did, and I have the documents to prove it. So anybody, you know, it did happen. The knife is at the Navy SEAL Museum, at all of them. Historically, also, the combat utility knife that was developed off the M9 bayonet in 1988. That is also at the Navy SEAL Museum. It was not issued, but it was in there. They had 300 of those, so it's kind of cool. But the heat treat process that CJ was mentioning, Paul Boss is world-renowned heat treater, and Paul Boss is a friend of ours, and Paul kindly wrote the heat treat formula for this knife.
Yeah, so he came out of retirement.
Yeah, he came out of retirement out of respect to Commander Coulter, myself, and CJ to heat treat.
Because he was involved with the original.
Yeah. Okay. And the original was having problems with the heat treat, and Paul solved it, and it led him to zone heat treat, which pioneered for the M9 bayonet. Like CJ was saying, something that could bend but be strong, and all these different aspects of the steel. Paul pioneered that. So Paul came back.
So you brought him back for this?
Just for this.
Like a one-time.
Now, to be fair,
one night only, one world tour.
Yeah, one world tour. Now, the cool
last
part,
world tour.
Paul's processes are still used at Buck all the time, and Paul consults all the time to help, but he had somebody under him. His name's Paul Farner.
Sure.
And Paul Farner has taken the torch, but again, the reason, it's just the Boss heat treat's amazing.
We want to unsheath this now. So as we're doing it, you can tell more about the back stuff that you're doing there. So, CJ, you do the honors.
Okay.
We're gonna let CJ do the honors.
So when you're thinking about knives, and I should let Doug talk about this, but in the dark, under stress, simplest is best. Am I right on that one?
Keep it simple.
So this one is about as simple as you can get. No butt, no guard.
There it is, world premiere,
just
ladies and
a
gentlemen.
nice piece of steel that's custom fit to your hand, double-edged. 420. It's a 420 HC steel, so it's a nicely. It's got great corrosion resistance, decent edge retention.
Better than decent, I would say.
But and because we do the heat treat, when you're doing heat treat, you're actually combining the elements within that already exist in that steel. And I'm going to say that's probably similar to SEAL training, is taking the elements that are in there and recombining them to create something that's tougher, resistant to corrosion, holds an edge, more ductile, which are all of these almost competing elements that you're optimizing a line down the middle of them all to get the best performance.
We got people outside taking pictures. So let's start at the butt and let's work our way down to the tip of the blade. So let's talk about the design and the functionality of the new Buckmaster. We call this the Buckmaster 2.0 or
Combat Diver, yep.
Combat Diver. There
the
we go.
official Buck model is the model 084. So the original was
84?
the 184. 084 into respect to that. And
Dig it.
I'm gonna let with the butt specifically, that's a skull crusher, and it's supposed to hold a carabinger. And then the handle, I want one of Commander's armors, and I won't mention which team when he was the XO of. Nowadays reshaped what the Buck crew had, so we sent the knife to them for testing. He recontoured and reshaped the blade or the handle, excuse me, and the handle has it's very well.
And we also had Doug sit into a design meeting as well. So Doug, why don't you take a stab at
Take a stab
at it. Okay. Yeah. Throw me on the spot here. Okay. So.
Dad jokes.
For me, the interesting and part of this is, the friendship that I developed with Rich many, many years ago. And, you're talking about back in 1984, the original Buckmaster, as a young guy myself at the time, it was a very coveted. I wanted one. I still don't have one, by the way, guys.
You don't? We'll solve that. We'll solve that after the show.
A decade plus later, I joined the military and wound up after going through training at Team 3, where Commander Coulter was one of the original 3 COs. I think he was the 3rd CO, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and then so this product, eventually I retired, opened my own training company, living up there in Post Falls, have a few meetings with these guys. Appreciate them bringing me in on it and talking about it, but the heritage going from the original Buckmaster to the 2.0 with modern techniques, modern machinery, modern heat treatings, and just a culmination of all of these guys' years of experience. And it's just monumental for me just to be a small part of just any of it. So it's a beautiful blade. I think it's multifunctional.
Okay. I was going to say, in your opinion, being a former team member, this has been something that would have been a game changer for you guys?
I think at the time, yes. I mean, the original Buckmaster was amazing for a guy that was looking at it. Had a couple of shortcomings, which I think with this particular design has alleviated that. And I think it's going to be huge with the collector market, and then, I don't know if I can say military sales and things like that.
So what you just showed, actually, this is the Buckmaster Combat Survivor. It's in development right now. And the anchor system will fit both knives, and the handle size will fit both knives. This might have a different contour, a more rounded spur.
Yeah.
And then notice that instead of having
it's got the
it'll be this same shape but thicker for your hands. And instead of a skull crusher, this will be flat eventually. But we're in. Yep, that's it.
So from a military perspective, I mean,
we'll show the anchor system, but you keep talking.
You need something that's multifunctional.
Yeah.
And as CJ said, it's got to be cheap, it's got to be expensive, it's got to be soft, it's got to be hard. I mean, you've got to have so many, to meet all the criteria in the specs. So the anchor system, works in both directions. Great system here, locks in place. Theoretically, if you need to lock something down as an emergency contingency type of thing, you could use it. It also works in reverse. This is your ingenious invention here, right? Yeah, so you can use it in different ways. Of course, the sheath will stay on it when you're using this in most applications, so you're not cutting your fingers.
Not in this configuration.
Non-military viewers that are watching, the anchor system is just that. It's to hold for their boats and whatnot, right?
Yeah. That's the planned application. Yeah.
But you could also what a lot of people did with the old one. You tell them, let's put it back in the sheath, and you've got a grapple now.
Right. So what? It is pure physics. The Buck engineers were genius, and it can also be tightened up. There'll be a little screw here. That's nice. But for the military only, we have something very special. And again, everything will be completely ambidextrous. So, again, for the military, in the sheath. In the sheath. It locks in, and then you don't have to worry about. And it could be emergency grapple if you need it.
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
Sorry,
I dig it. Very nice. And so, first release is military.
So military release will be this year.
Yes,
later on this year. So that's what we're focused on.
Then,
we haven't set a commercial release.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I teased you, but it's coming.
It is.
It's in the mail. But for our military, it's right there.
And,
Yeah,
and
right around the
also,
corner.
I'd like to point out that the Buck Collectors Club, we all made a promise to them, and they will be the first civilians to be able to get a special one. So if you're a Buck Collectors Club member, you'll get one before anybody else in the civilian world.
In the civilian world, but the military gets them first.
Yes, sir.
This is really nice. You guys did a really fantastic job on this. I've been privileged and honored to be a part of this, kind of in the loop. I mean, I had nothing to do with the design or anything like that, but really humbled that you guys would share the information along this journey with me and with our audience. So thank you so much.
I would like to point out that the Buck family loves the U.S. military. The Buck factory and all the workers there love the U.S. military and what they do for us. And CJ is going to donate a particular amount to our U.S. military right away within the next few months or so, and we'll keep you on top of that. But it's his grandfather served in the Navy, his father served in the Navy. They're military family.
Yeah, my great-grandfather was in Mountain Home, Idaho, near the Air Force Base, making knives as a single, lone custom knife maker, making knives for the servicemen that were there in his home state.
So it's keeping up the family tradition.
Yes, sir.
And you can't get more, throw this out there, you can't get more American, and I know lots of us have carried Bucks overseas. You can't get more or better of a company, a knife company, than Buck. So,
right there in Idaho.
Yes, sir.
Love it. I can't wait for the civilian. So this is going to be more the civilian, what the civilians can see, right?
Yeah.
Got you. No? Yes? No?
We'll see.
Just correct me.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, beautiful design. I wish Commander Coulter could be here with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him on on a Skype or something.
With CJ's permission, he said he'd be happy to do something like that for you.
Okay. I don't think CJ's going to cock block him on that. Come on.
I don't either.
Yeah. Not more than once.
So, guys, thank you for sharing this with our audience. Is Evan still here?
He stepped out.
Okay, so we're not live anymore.
Okay,
good. Let's talk about Buck Knives.
Okay.
What you guys have new and exciting going on for the civilians that the civilians can enjoy?
Now we have so we ended up having a really good year last year, so that was solid. We had struggle manufacturing because we had struggle getting people. So as with lots of other manufacturers in the country, labor, the labor shortage,
good quality labor. Yeah.
So we rolled into the end of summer. Ended the year on a good solid note, manufacturing note. So what's coming new? We have two new hunting products. So we have an Alpha family, which is a drop point skinner, a large and a small version of that in a high end steel.
Okay.
An S35 VN steel. So it's just awesome steel.
Almost indestructible.
Yeah, if you're going out in the field, you shouldn't have to sharpen once you leave the house. So these things stay sharp forever, and then we're also reintroducing our Packlight series. So it's a skeletal version of knives. We did a Packlight series.
Are these folders?
These are fixed blade skeletal skeleton
so you can wrap
knives.
The paracord.
You can paracord them. They come with a small. They come with a small handle that just allows your finger something to grip, but you can take that off and paracord wrap it if you want.
Nice.
And then we're also introducing a couple new autos.
Oh, looky here now.
So this is the.
He brought you one.
You know when I.
He brought you one, baby.
This is a California legal automatic knife. The blade is under 2 inches long. I carried one all summer long when I was in San Diego, and man, I cut drywall, tile. We cut all kinds of stuff with that. That little blade did an awesome job.
That looks awesome, man. What is this called?
That's called the Mini Deploy. That one happens to be the Mini Deploy Blackout because it's all blackened. But we do a burnt orange, and we do a black as well.
Beautiful. And this is new for this year?
The Blackout version's new for this year. The Mini Deploy we introduced mid-year last year.
Okay. Very good. I like this.
And there's a larger version of that just called the Deploy.
Yeah. So for our listeners, it fits right in the palm of your hand, and then it's got an extremely positive auto switch, and it just flips right on out. And that's legal in California?
It's legal in California. There's no safety on that one, so it's
for now.
It's quicker. Yeah. But,
That's beautiful.
So this is awesome. The regular deploy, I will say, so I'm involved with the American Knife and Tool Institute. We've been working on automatic knife legislation. This year, Pennsylvania is now legal to carry automatic knives.
Well,
So that's
congratulations.
brand new. We got
Thank
that done
you
last
for your
year.
efforts. Yes.
So now we're working on Washington State, California, New Mexico, and Minnesota.
There's still that many.
There's still that many. There's seven left, and Hawaii, but we're not working on Hawaii.
What is up with all this government overreach with our freedoms and our
It's why
our
we live
liberties?
It's why we live in Idaho.
You know, we just heard, recently about the tactical arm brace,
Yep.
the ruling from the ATF on that, complete just overreach.
No, and people do not realize how impactful. It's not just legislation you got to watch out for. It. The regulation can tie you up even faster
Even
than
worse,
legislation.
yeah,
and nobody's accountable for that.
Because there's nothing that it has to go through, no approval system
Nope.
or anything.
Doesn't have to make sense either.
No, and it doesn't. Let me show you this. I want to get your opinion on this. I want to get everybody's opinion on this. So I'm going to have this guy on the show, and I'm going to grill him about this book.
Common Sense Gun Laws. Okay.
Okay. So read the title, Doug.
Bullet points.
The whole thing.
Reasons why America should embrace common sense gun laws.
Okay. So, and this is a 2A advocate guy.
Okay.
Okay. So I've gotten like 4 or 5 chapters into it. And I mean, I can kind of see some of his points in this, but I want to get your opinion. Go to chapter 5. Flip in there to chapter 5. CJ.
Boy, no pressure, no pressure.
Readers.
I will need
A little
the-
deeper,
Yeah.
a little deeper in the
No,
book.
I'm-
A little
I'm-
further back. A little further back.
We're getting old, man.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep.
I get it.
Wait, I remember
get
when
it.
he didn't need readers.
I must say this guy makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Really does.
And I only got through 2 chapters.
I'm a convert. I am officially a convert.
It took
Did
me.
you look through there?
It took me 2 chapters to get through it. CJ's just like, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's
So
great.
for our listeners, yes, I am showing Yehuda's book again. I'm punking everybody that comes on with
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome.
So it's blank.
Yeah.
So,
It's blank.
Yep.
yeah, that's
There are no
Nope.
common sense gun laws.
Very appropriate.
It doesn't exist.
Very appropriate.
Isn't that cool?
It
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Common sense, not so common these days.
So the new releases that you guys have at Buck Knives, are they up on the website? Are they
They're on the
available?
website. They're here at the show. I think our team's doing a great job getting stuff introduced on time. And so far, placement with our key dealers has been good, been solid.
Good.
So that's always a good recommendation that what
There
you
you go.
introduced actually makes sense to people.
So go to your local dealer, go to their website. You can see all the new and latest offerings, and it's buckknives.com.
Yes, sir.
And at Buck Knives on the grams and social medias. You guys can see. I know you guys do a great job with your social media posting up.
Yeah,
I don't know
we've
who your
gotten better at
photographer
that.
is, but your photographer is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that
Thank
you?
No, it's not me. It's not me. No.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I say thank you for him.
And if you're in the area, the beautiful North Idaho, come by the factory, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're
That's right.
exit 2.
Did
We're
you
just
get that
over the
museum
Idaho
fixed?
Washington border. Not yet.
Still working on
Not
the
yet.
museum?
Still working on it.
Okay, I mean it's kind of a museum as it is anyway when you walk in that. I mean it's just you've got history on the wall and you can you just kind of walk in and you just feel, it's like there's something here. There's a rich, deep, American family history in this company.
And we don't have to make any of it up. It's all
It's there.
It's all real.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a great story. Doug,
Sir.
talk about your company a little bit for us. Let the leadheads know where they can get in touch with you. What your specialty that you're doing?
Website's pretty easy. HUTS, HUTS-TSSG.com. Our primary focus, like I said, is mostly working with the trifecta that we call it. Guys that are recently retired, so their experience is still relevant. Military, law enforcement, special unit type stuff.
All right.
Doing all manner of firearms, self-defense, knife defense, disaster prep scenario, prepping of some of the nonprofit organizations that are going over doing good things overseas. Everything from how to travel safely and how to return home safely. So we basically bill ourselves as we've got stuff on the shelf ready to go. but we like to tailor a solution to what your unit or organization needs, so that we're not wasting your time, you're not wasting our time, and we're doing it on strategic level down to the individual level. We do a mobile training team option. A lot of times you got medium-sized departments. It's more cost-effective.
Did you say schmedium?
Schmedium.
I like that. I caught that.
It's more cost-effective and administratively effective to bring myself and one of my guys or two of my guys to your location using your facilities, and then you don't have to foot the bill for all the operational costs, and you still get the same tier 1 level quality type training. So that's what we're doing. And then I'm also diverging and doing a little bit of being a gear dork and knife and gun guy myself. I'm later this summer hopefully have small batch, high quality, doing my own bladesmithing and production.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Oh, a competitor.
Competitor.
I get it.
Direct competitor. He wouldn't have had me on if I told him that earlier. So.
Are you going to try to get on that Forged and Fire show?
No. I've actually got a good buddy of mine who's a phenomenal bladesmith himself, and been in business for a lot of years, and he's teaching me some of the Forged and Fire style old school methodology, but of course for semi-custom production level, we'll keep it small, but try to do everything in North Idaho area, do it in-house, keep the standards
Very
up.
nice.
And so that's where I'm going.
Very nice.
And we'll have Buck do the heat treat for him. So he's
that
going
would
to
be
grind
awesome.
his own
That would
stuff.
He's going to do it all
phenomenal.
yourself.
Pretty awesome.
Rich.
Yes, sir.
Talk about, so you're managing the Buckmaster Facebook collector page. What is it?
You know what? I have a Facebook page. It's called Buckmaster Knives, and now I'm going to start posting stuff. I haven't been able to for a long time for NDAs and different things like that, so I didn't want to upset anybody.
Sure.
But now we can talk about it. But it's exciting, this process, and for me, it's more exciting to know that our military is going to get the best dive knife ever created, and it's it's a dive knife. It's not a fighting knife, but it's still a dive knife, and obviously there's all kinds of applications for it. And to be involved with the original team, like Paul Bosch, who did the heat treat, and Commander Coulter, who requested, and CJ, who had his family build the knife to begin with when nobody wanted to have that same team in place, it's amazing. So I cannot, And I would like to personally end in the words of Commander Coulter, and I do not sound like the man. He has the best deep baritone voice ever, but in my opinion, Buck Knives makes some of the best knives in the world. So Commander DT Coulter,
I concur with that.
SEAL retired.
So I'm asking all my guests during the SHOT Show here, I got a question that I ask you, and just first thing that comes to mind. Okay. So what is the one thing in 2023, is that right, 2023?
Yep.
That you would like to see disappear, gone, never to return? Start with...
Did you say what or who?
That's a what. Who's a what? So, for instance, I've had world hunger. Somebody said world hunger. Somebody said they would like stupid phrases to go away, which was me, like ad nauseum or
That is a good question, and I don't have a ready answer.
Oh my gosh, I've stumped you. I have stumped the crowd.
Vaccine mandates.
Vaccine mandates.
For me.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Are you actually doing those?
No.
No,
those are more of a suggestion too.
He caught it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and lived. It almost. Yeah.
I haven't had one yet. What about you?
A little cheesy, but I would like for us to redirect our energy and efforts into actually making things better across the spectrum instead of just our own personal, whatever, call it, agendas.
Yeah. Yeah. So more unity.
More unity, more
less
focus.
Bickering, less divisiveness.
Well, let's get back to the America that we need to be.
There you go.
No, I think I would add just a smidgen to that, and that is lose the bipolarization and get back to where we can actually discuss things, to where you can share. This is why I think what I think. I want to know why you think what you think. Let's come together. We can figure out what we agree on. We can figure out what we disagree on.
Agree to disagree.
Yes.
Instead of Okay, you don't agree with me. I'm going to continue to try to get you.
Well, that's what
to
a
believe what I
republic.
believe.
That's what a republic was designed to do: is have 50 different ways you could think and still be in the same country.
Yeah.
And I think we're losing that. And
we are. Yeah.
And still be proud of each other and get along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That has been, believe it or not, and I didn't want to say it, but that has been like the majority of what people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the divisiveness, the not being able to communicate with one another, kind of thing. So,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
that would be it.
Good answers. You have won, and Don Pardo, tell them what you won a Mission First Tactical, leather covered, bad MFer wallet.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank
guys,
you very
again,
much.
thank you so much, and sincerely, I am humbled and privileged to that you guys have included me, my audience, in this journey, and I'm glad to see it. That it's finally, we're almost at the finish line. It's right there.
It is right
We're like
there.
touching it.
It's there.
It's like,
And before we sign off, that's right out of my pocket, but I'd like you to have it.
For real?
That's the mini deploy we
No
were talking about
way.
earlier. I signed it and put the word shot on it so you remembered where you got
I saw that
it.
you'd signed it, and I was like, oh, I better give that back to him. That's for somebody. Thank
No,
you.
I don't really need stuff with my signature on it. So.
Well, yeah.
I disagree.
I kind
For
of
the
bogart
kids
my
and
stuff.
grandkids.
Thank you,
Anyway,
sir. I
pleasure.
appreciate that. We're going to make pictures of that and post it up. Leadheads, more coming from the 2023 SHOT Show here at the official Leadquarters of KelTec. Day 2. Or 3. Which one is it?
This was 2.
This is 2. So, fellas, Evan, Bill, appreciate you guys being on, taking the time, share your SHOT Show experience with the Leadheads.
Yeah, buddy.
Evan, give your Instagrams for everybody.
It's at Flood Munitions. Just first word's Flood, last word's Munitions. And yeah, you guys can follow me there. I post some content there regarding SHOT Show, and then just all sorts of gun content, whatever I can get away with on Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, go check it out.
And Billdo, can't really follow him, so
Nope.
you got a private account, don't you?
I do.
He's got a private account. He's all privatized. But go and show all our sponsors some love. Mission First Tactical. Go to missionfirsttactical.com. Use the code LEADHEAD to get 20% off. Go to seal1.com. Use the code LEADHEAD to get 25% off. Got Dwight going to be coming up on an episode talking about some new products that they have. And if you guys have been watching our Instagram or watched it during SHOT Show, we did a lot of exclusives and live coverage that we posted on Instagram too that maybe we didn't get interviews with people, but we did do them through those. And we did one with Dwight talking about that new product. But we are going to have him on the show talking about that. And then, of course, you go to KelTec. Go to KelTecWeapons.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 15% off any of the products there, non-firearm related. And go let them know how much you appreciate them sponsoring us for the SHOT Show, being the official Leadquarters for the Talking Lead podcast there at SHOT Show. So until the next episode, as always, Leadheads, keep your loved ones close
And your firearms closer.